Untappd? Untappd is an app and a website where you can check in beers, you can toast friends, and you can see what they think about different beers. And in this video, I will share what I think about Untappd, what I like, what I don't like, and we will check in a beer together. So for me, the whole thing started with bad memory. I could buy a beer, really looking forward to it, just to discover that I had tried it before and maybe didn't like it. I started taking notes, making lists, so I could go back and see what I thought about different beers. And then the app I used at the time got corrupted. My phone was very old at the time, so it could be that. But then I thought, well, I might as well try this Untappd app. And it is actually a lot of fun using the app. It's like a small event every time you try a beer. But let's start checking this beer in, and I can tell you more about what I think about the app along the way. This beer is by Allagash, that makes one of my all-time favorite beers, the Allagash White, a Belgian-styled wheat beer. But that doesn't mean I will enjoy this one, of course. Sometimes, when I am about to try a new beer, I search the beer on YouTube to see if one of the reviewers I like try the beer, and then we can kind of try it together. But in this case, I won't do that. That would be very strange. This is a bourbon barrel-aged golden ale. Very strange combination. It smells a bit strange as well. Golden ales isn't my favorite type of beer. Sometimes I get surprised though. But what I do, of course, is to take a nice picture. Let's see. There we go. I usually put some filters on as well. Make it look a little bit more tasty. Then I smell it, but unlike my YouTube videos, there isn't really room to describe the aroma on Untappd, so I just focused on the taste, unless there is something that really sticks out in the aroma. It kind of smells like a screwdriver, you know, vodka and oranges. A bit of kind of Belgian yeast character as well, kind of like a wheat beer with lots of wheat. But if those notes go through to the taste, I won't really mention them. It does smell delicious though, so let's taste it. Cheers! Alright, sweeter than I thought. Lots of oranges and zesty characters. You feel the barrel, but not in the traditional way, maybe. I guess you have some kind of vanilla there. I definitely get the alcohol. It's like you have mixed your own drink, kind of with vodka, as I said, with more fruity ingredients. The finish is dry, but still somehow a bit zesty. Medium bitterness, or sometimes I get that kind of bitterness from the alcohol as well. Some spicy note that I sometimes confuse with bitterness. Maybe medium to low bitterness, but with some added alcohol spice, if you know what I mean. The malt base is kind of white bread, crackers, and you have some herbal qualities there as well. A bit of lemon sourness and hints of apricot as well. So then, when I have a general idea of what I think about the beer and what it tastes like, I usually go into Systembolagets app. It's the state-owned alcohol monopoly store app, and it's pretty good with the aroma and the taste descriptions. So I scan the beer much like you do on Untappd, and let's see what it says. It says fruity, somewhat spicy taste with not a lot of sweetness. Hints of barrel. I think that is kind of a cowardly way of describing it. You know, what is the barrel tasting like? Apricot, vanilla, sponge cake, dried pineapple, butterscotch, and citric fruits. So I thought more of a dry malt base, like white bread and crackers. They say sponge cake, so I want to see if I agree with that, if I change my mind. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know what they mean. Now when I, focus on those taste notes, it's like it has some similarities to a New England IPA with a sponge cake and more tropical fruits. It's just more discreet and the finish is much drier. But that is a direction I might not have gone in unless I've read these notes. So it's like sponge cake in the beginning and more like white bread and crackers in the finish. The malt base kind of changes in my eyes. You could also see it like you have this more almost sugary, zesty qualities in the start, and then the malt base reveals itself in the finish. So it's not really sponge cake, but something else kind of sugary. So I still think I will stick with my initial experiences, but it's always interesting to read other notes, and butterscotch I can't find at all. So next up we go into Untappd and scan the barcode. Then we can see which friends have already checked in the beer, and it's only one, and it's a Swede. That always confuses me when more Swedish people than American has checked in an American beer. But as you can see here, Mauro gave it 3.9 as a rating and no review at all. And I get it. You just want to try beers and tell the world what you thought about it. But to me, of course, this person I know, and I kind of learned his taste and what he thinks about, sometimes our taste is similar and sometimes it's different. But when you look up random people on this app and you just see a rating, it doesn't mean anything if you don't write about it as well. But then we can go back and we can see what the non-friends thought about it. It has only 414 check-ins total. So it feels like it's only released in Sweden so far. Isn't that strange? Let's see, yeah, we have... Oh, no rating. That's pretty unusual. No rating, no review. 3.5. Yeah, it's only Swedes. 2.75. People don't seem to like it. All right, so then I push the check-in button finally. I add the photo, the first thing I do. Lovely photo. We have can, Untappd at home because I'm at home. And then I start to make some notes in English. First, maybe some, summary of what I thought about it. I think I'll start by writing interesting. That could be either good or bad, right? Golden ale is not my favorite style, and I have never tried a barrel-aged one. Now, that is important, in my opinion, and that kind of context is something I very often miss on Untappd, because you can check in a beer in a style you don't enjoy, but really in the style it could be one of the best beers ever, but you just don't like it. So what does that tell other people? Fruity and zesty start, dry and spicy finish. Then I'll add boozy throughout. And then I like to be more specific, not just fruity, but which fruits and so on. Oranges, because that is maybe the dominating flavor. So oranges meaning many oranges. Lemon with zest. Maybe I'll also add hints of pineapple, just because the Systembolaget app kind of pointed that out, and I, kind of agree. White bread, crackers, herbs. Now these strong beers are always a bit tricky to me, because it feels like the alcohol has a taste of its own that is hard to describe. If you just say vodka, you kind of know what I mean, but it's hard to describe. And because I've already written boozy throughout, I think that's enough. Medium bitterness. Spara means save. And now comes maybe the most controversial part of my check-in. I don't rate the beer. For me, this forces me to convey what I think about the beer in text. It's such a good exercise. And if I compare my first check-ins in 2022, 2023, it's such a difference in how I can express what I find in the beer. Some beers I've gone back and edited, I have to confess, but others I've left as is. And I've realized more and more that's one of the things I'm most interested about in beers, how you describe different flavors and how they differ from each other. And I know this annoys some people, and it also means that you can't rank my beers. You can't see my top ranked beers or anything like that. You have to go, on the text alone. Maybe one day I'll add a list called my favorite beers or something like that, so you at least can, sort them in some way. But then I read through. I can see I've established that I'm not really qualified to write about this style. That's another thing about the rating. I think about the rating as kind of a beer judge would do it. You see, how true is this beer to the style? And you compare all these components, but if you're just an amateur, should you really rate a beer? It's better to have just a button saying, I like this beer, I don't like this beer. Or, I like this style, I don't like this style. And if you combine those, that could be powerful. I like this style, I don't like this beer, says more than I don't like this style, I don't like this beer. What's the point? Sometimes in my reviews, I give a recommendation, buy this beer, it's really good. Or, this is a beer I won't buy again. In this case, because it is a style I'm not familiar with, and I don't really know what I think, I won't give any kind of recommendation. The reader will have to form their own opinion based on the text and based on what they like in beer. So then we press check in, and then we'll see which, what's it called? Batches. Untappd kind of converted into Swedish only, which is kind of annoying. So now it says märke, ett märke. And I can't remember what the English word is. But the descriptions and the names are still the same. So we have 1, 2, 3 batches. It's not called batches. Sticker? No. I don't really care about them though. But at one point I got, was it 6 at the same time? That was pretty cool because my Untappd friends commented on it. Wow, that's a lot of markers. No. So then what I do is I go through the latest check-ins and skåla. It means toast. Toast is also, toasted bread. So in the beginning, in the forced Swedish in the app, it said toasted bread instead of cheering. So I go through and I cheer a few of them. I think that's nice. And that's pretty much it. So I usually accept every friend request on Untappd. It's always fun with more beer friends. But the ones I add always are people that write a review, write something. It might be I go through the check-ins of a new beer, and then I see what people actually write things, what they write, and I decide to add them. And that way, I learn so much more. Oh, I got a toast on my check-in, and now I see it says cherry liqueur. What? Why does it say cherry? Wait a minute, what happened? I need to investigate. It's the wrong beer. That's so strange, because I scanned the barcode. If we press edit, redigera in Swedish, and then byta means change. You can change which beer you have checked in, because that is not one. And then instead we write the name in case the barcode is faulty somehow. There we have Curieux, Allagash Brewing Company. Belgian triple, no. Let's add bourbon. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's press that one. Okay, and then we save. All right. So when I investigated which friends previously checked in this beer, let's go back actually and see. 0 friends. Okay, so it was the cherry one that my other friend had checked in. It's only 24 people. What's going on? Okay, you have to let me know. Sometimes this happens when an American beer hits the Swedish market, and 24 people? That's crazy. Have you tried this one? Please let me know in the comments, or if you know anything about it. I'm also curious to know, of course, what you think about Untappd, how you use it, and what you don't like about it. Check out this video if you haven't had enough of me yet. Thank you for watching, and remember, drink responsibly!